Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Star Eddie Hearn. Where to begin? I want to start with Lewis Crocker and Conor Walker. One of the best fights I've seen live. As soon as I started seeing Conor Walker eat them power punches, I thought, how is this going to end? But just give us your initial reaction. So a lot of people thought Conor has won that fight.
Yeah, it was weird because on my row, and I did have two Condons on my row. Yeah, but I also had Sam Jones, Jack Catterall. I had the guys from DAZN. I had some guys from 258. A lot of impartial people, and they had it either a draw or Lewis Crocker nicking it. And then when I got in the ring, I went over to the DAZN team and all the media, and they all had Conor Walker winning it. So I think it's very difficult to give that fight more than certainly 2 rounds. Either way, but I guess it's what you like. For me, Conor Walker didn't stop working, but Lewis Crocker was landing the heavier shots. I think he buzzed him a few times and hurt him. Just a brilliant back and forth fight, and I've got a soft spot for Conor Walker. I really have. And he came up to me after the fight and said, thanks for everything. I've always wanted to be on a Matchroom show, like as if to say, I guess that's my lot now. And I said, and I don't mind saying it on here as well, no way. You will be back on our cards. You were brilliant tonight. You were a credit to yourself. And it was a fight that could have gone either way.
I spoke to Paddy Donovan after the event and spoke to him about the performance. He said he had Walker. Naturally he might do by a few rounds. I said, look, is that fight nearly done? I speak to Jamie and Mick a lot, and they said, look, it's pretty close. And he said, look, I want to do that fight in Limerick. And I said, but if it doesn't end up there, are we still going to see this fight because it's huge for Irish boxing? He says, yeah, hopefully Eddie can keep to his word and we can get a fight somewhere near there. So where are we at?
He's signed for the fight. So, and the fight will take place where we can deliver the most money to give those boys the paydays they deserve. So we've got a proven model in Belfast, and it's all very well going to Limerick, but it's got to hit the numbers. Do you know what I mean? And maybe there's a middle ground in Dublin, or I don't know. It's a massive all-Irish fight, and it's a really good fight. Listen, I don't rule out Conor Walker rematching Lewis Crocker. I don't rule out Conor Walker fighting Paddy Donovan. I don't. For me, that's the kind of fighter I want on my shows. And Lewis Crocker, by the way, but I'm talking about Conor Walker because he lost the fight and, I feel like he deserves credit. So for Lewis Crocker, he's going to be just fine. He's going to be in big fights. He's a tremendous talent. But Conor Walker will be back. And, like you said, for me, one of the fights of the year.
Tyler, Denny, Felix, Cash, I think it was shaping up nice. I was saying, I don't know how this is going to top what we've just seen, but it was warming up into it. Just give us your reaction to it.
I thought so. I thought Felix looked sloppy when he started. But let's be honest, he's been out of the ring for 18 months. He's never going to be razor sharp, is he? And that was one of the concerns. I did actually think that Felix, although he was definitely behind in the fight, was starting to throw some bigger shots. The body language wasn't great at all times, and the cut was bad, and it was definitely affecting him. The problem is, Tyler Denny's a machine. I'm not saying he's going to go on and be a world champion, but at that level, he's very effective, he's very fit, and he's very determined, right? And if you start unravelling, if you haven't got the engine for it, you're going to get overrun. And I think that's probably what would have happened in the fight. I think no complaints with the scorecards. And I think if the fight would have gone on, I think Tyler Denny probably would have won, being honest. So, I can't complain. I think Felix has got to take a look at himself. I do think he gave it everything tonight, but it's that time out of the ring, that period of inactivity, but not just that, the living, that kind of life. If you think about it, if you're up against someone that every day that you had off living badly, they were living right and doubling down, the gap is going to be so wide, and you can't cheat this sport. That's the reality. And it's amazing to come back after what he went through. But see that period of time, you can never get it back. And it doesn't matter now how much you want it or how much you've turned your life around, that still happened. Do you know what I mean? And it's very difficult to come back from.
Ben Shalom here tonight, a lot made of it. I know you've sort of spoke on it.
I said to him, you can win fights, I said, we should do more. Listen, getting an away win is so sweet. Like, he'll be buzzing, he'll be going down the thing, he rocked up with his security and I think he was very nervous, but as you know, we're not going to treat him like an idiot. He's more than welcome and we want to make all these fights. And he should start realising that doing those kind of inter-promotional fights, it's fun. Number one, and two, you can win them. That was a good win. I know Tyler, in my opinion, was a slight favourite tonight, but it's a good win for him. He got out, he got paid, his profile rose through the experience, and now he goes back to Sky. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? We can make those fights. So I think now the seal has been broken. Maybe he feels more comfortable making more fights, and hopefully we can.
100%. Look, Jack Catterall, fight announced. momentum steadily building after an impressive Josh Taylor victory. Regis Prograis coming back looking for a point to prove, former world champion. Great fight in the new Manchester Arena as well.
Brilliant fight, and to be honest with you, it's a fight that only really came about in the last 48 hours. You know, we were trying to make this Barboza fight, they dropped the ball, they were painful, and Regis Prograis stepped up. He went, I'll fight Jack Catterall, I need a big fight, I need a big win. You know, I've already boxed in the UK against Josh Taylor, give me that fight. And Jack Catterall straight away went, what a great fight, let's do it. It's the biggest fight at 140 for Jack Catterall outside of a world championship. They're not available towards the end of the year. How good that you're seeing active 140-pound world-class fighters jumping in with each other. Massive card incoming August 24th. Unbelievable arena, the first ever fight at that arena in Manchester. Going to be a massive night.
Last one from me. I'm not sure what you can divulge about it because we heard about it as we were coming to the arena. Aqib Fiaz, obviously, it says personal reasons. I know this was supposed to be Kane Baker's last fight. You've had him a lot. Yeah. What can you tell us if you can?
You know what? I'm not going to... I don't think there's any point in trying to keep it under wraps, in all honesty. Like, you know, I was made aware of some irregular betting activity around the fight. Once I got that information, I had to look into it, and I did that myself. I did that with our team. I did that with the Gambling Commission, and I made the decision to pull the fight. And I did that. When I did that, I spoke to the British Boxing Board of Control. I told them everything that I'd done, and I said, I'm going to pull the fight. They agreed with me, and now it'll be over to them to carry out their own investigation.
Just when you think you've seen everything, have you ever come across this in boxing?
In 15 years, I've never dealt with a situation like this. You know, pre-fight, 2 weeks out, before, 6 weeks out, never ever. So it was a new one for me, very disappointing. The truth will come out, you know, but everything, all the information that I was given at the time made me feel extremely uncomfortable and resulted in me pulling a fight.
Well, Eddie, look, terrific show. On to the next. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, mate.